let's talk about that time Liesel Van Helsing got absolutely dogged by the Mothman. Now, our story starts off with Liesel Van Helsing as she's fighting a horde of zombie tentacle monsters, but she's making short work of them as she's also assisted by her boyfriend, Hades. Yeah, the Hades. They're also assisted by their two friends, Taylor and Franklin, who are both demon hunters in their own right. After making short work of the zombie horrors, they go out for some beers. Now, Taylor and Franklin are planning a Mothman hunt, and they invite Liesel Van Helsing and Hades to tag along. Now, Liesel Van Helsing plans to attend the Mothman hunt, but unfortunately, Hades can't make it as he also has to attend the Council of Olympians. And then on top of that, this motherfucker Hades is so overpowered that you have to wonder, why is he here? Like, why is Hades fucking Liesel Van Helsing? I don't know, but I'm here for it. Anyway, the next day, Liesel meets up with Franklin and Taylor, and the three of them proceed to gather clues, that way they can track down the Mothman. But the group doesn't seem to be having a ton of luck, so eventually they turn it in for the day. Now later that night, Franklin hears some chatter on the police scanner, so the group heads out to investigate. Now, upon reaching the site, the group initially finds nothing, so the group decides to split up, which ends up being a grave mistake, as eventually you hear Franklin yelling, "Holy shit." By the time Liesel and Taylor are able to respond, the Mothman is already upon him, and the Mothman is easily overpowering my guy. Now, Liesel and Taylor attempt to fight the Mothman, but Taylor's weapons do little to nothing, and the Mothman tosses Liesel aside like she was a fucking flea. But as Liesel tries to retaliate, she unfortunately gets hit with the Mothman's stingers that starts to render her unconscious. So the Mothman proceeds to chow down on Franklin, but Taylor tries to rush the Mothman in a desperate attempt to stop him, but the Mothman spits webbing all over her, completely immobilizing that bitch. But as Liesel is starting to come to from the Mothman's venom, she can see that Franklin's throat has already been ripped out and his body has been badly mutilated. Now, as Taylor yells for help, Liesel attempts to engage the Mothman, with the Mothman all but shrugging off almost everything she throws at it. Liesel proceeds to hit the Mothman with a flamethrower capable of frying century-old vampires, but the Mothman tanks that like it was nothing. That's when Liesel realizes she's really in deep shit. And as Liesel attempts to free Taylor from the Mothman's webbing, the Mothman closes in on them with ill intentions. Now, before Liesel can completely free Taylor, she remembers that Taylor has these high-tech night vision goggles that Franklin gave her, capable of emitting extreme light. And since all else has failed at this point, she's like, fuck it. Liesel uses the goggles to emit a beam of light, and there it is, the Mothman's weakness, a hypersensitivity to light. Luckily, this causes the Mothman to retreat for now. Now, unfortunately for Taylor, Franklin is no more, as his body has been badly mutilated by the Mothman, and his body seems to be starting to crystallize. Thankfully, the Mothman is gone, but one thing's for damn sure, the Mothman will be back. To be continued.